Hi everybody and welcome to this first lesson of the intro course on playing piano by ear. My name is Koen and I'm presenting you this Hack the Piano Launchpad on this beautiful new Roland HP 605, a digital piano which is obviously super convenient for these smaller studio settings to transmit the data to my computer, transmit the audio. You'll hear that it sounds great. I can turn the volume down so that I don't disturb the neighbors that much, but it looks awesome as you see, and it feels like playing an actual grand piano. In this particular lesson, I will tell you a bit about how this course will be constructed, but we'll learn what pop piano actually is and how I like to compare learning music to learning a new language and all the benefits that you'll get from that. So what is pop piano? Well, pop piano is, I don't want you to be thrown off guard and think that we'll only play Billboard Top 100 hits, okay? That's not the case, although it's very, very suitable and convenient to play that kind of music with this approach. But it refers more to contemporary styles like jazz, funk, soul, hip-hop, also a singer-songwriter, and the more pop-y, electronic, whatever kinds of music. These types of music all think from chords instead of single line notes written on sheet music paper, as you might have seen that looks something like this. Now, the advantage to learning music through chords, a thing that you might have come across in your life sometimes, where you might have seen a guitarist strum a couple of chords, everybody singing along, and it's a great party, you know what I mean? That is what I like to call the Campfire Phenomenon, and because everybody can relate to the fact that that happens around the campfire, but also this pops the image in your mind that somebody can play dozens of songs apparently without any reference or whatever. That's chord magic in action. So when you can speak these chords, because here's my first reference to language, as I mentioned, I think music is a language, and I like to compare learning music to learning a new language. You'll see that that just comes in handy at many different levels. First of all is that when you learn these chords, which are actually very closely related to words, you'll have sort of a chunk-like block of music like this. Let me show you. This is what we call a chord. It's simply more notes played at the same time. Now, if I would tell you to play, and I'm now assuming that you don't know how to play, but if you do know how to play, then try to relate how you would approach this, what I'm doing now, if you're used to playing from sheets, okay? So say I would play this. That might look like a different thing, and especially if you've never seen a keyboard like this, then what for crying out loud was I just playing, right? Well, let me say that these three notes together form our most basic chord, something that we'll get more in depth into in the next lesson, where we'll actually start using this one. And that it doesn't really matter if you play it like this, or like this, and that fact translates into the fact that you can use it in many different ways if you just know this single word, which is made up of single notes, okay? 3 different notes is one chord, but if you just know that this chord, which is named a C chord, consists out of these 3 notes, and that it doesn't matter in which way that you actually play them, then you can use it to play something like this, or something like this, or... Okay, not to confuse you with too many different options here. You don't have to copy. I will teach you all of this, how it works, where it comes from. But for this moment, just let me say that I was using that same chord in different contexts, in combination with other words, other chords. So we'll build different sentences with that same word. And this way, when you're chunking music like this, okay, just like when you would be when you're learning a new language, you learn a couple of words, those fit into different sentences. The more words you acquire, the more different sentences you can build, right? That's the same with these chords, and you'll sound way more like a contemporary pianist instead of a classical pianist. Have you ever seen your favorite artist look at sheet music while he was playing? Exactly, that's because he knows his chords, knows how to play with them, knows different ways of pronouncing them, knows different rhythms and styles. This is just simply knowing chords, knowing patterns. And that is the approach that we're going to take in this course. And it will enable you to truly understand what's going on, to remember music way more quickly, to build your own songs even if you want, or to play music by ear. Figure out what somebody else is playing. Just think of this as when you know how to speak a language and somebody else speaks, then you know what he says, right? And you can repeat it. Well, it's the same thing with these word-like chords. If you know the chords, if you know the words, you can reuse them in your very own way. So if this is something that sounds interesting to you, if you'd rather sound something like this, instead of... Nice song, by the way, as well, but you get the drift. If you want to approach music more full like this, instead of these single notes, we'll now be playing full and rich harmonies, chords, in other words, that sound full and rich from the very start. If you're interested in sounding like this, in approaching music like this, in understanding what's going on and being able to play freely from the heart by ear, not requiring to use any sheets, then this course is for you, and I will hope to see you next lesson. Thanks for watching, and see you next one. Bye bye.